By the end of this, you'll have a working interactive app built and shared from Claude Artifacts, with zero code written. Skip the sharing step wrong, and your data ends up indexed on Google for anyone to find. Claude Artifacts is a live output layer where you build, preview, and share interactive content. The workflow runs end-to-end reliably, but a few steps have real gotchas worth knowing before you hit publish. Step 1. Trigger artifact creation. A lot of people type a prompt, get a code block in the chat window, and wonder why the artifact panel never opened. There's a hidden threshold at play. Claude only fires the artifact panel automatically when your output hits 15 lines or more, and under that you just get inline text with no panel. I ran a 10-line function and got an inline code block. Then I ran a 20-line React component, and the artifact panel opened automatically. That 15-line mark is the real trigger, and if you want to force it regardless of length, just add create an artifact to your prompt and the panel opens every time. Step 1 works cleanly. The 15-line threshold is real. The explicit phrase, override, works every time. And if the feature isn't showing up at all, check Settings, then Capabilities on desktop to make sure it's toggled on. That's one of 6 steps done, and it's a clear pass. I only know that 15-line gotcha because I spent a frustrating afternoon wondering why my panel kept disappearing. Drop a reply below if you've hit the same thing. Step 2. Build interactive dashboards. You've probably heard Claude can build dashboards, and you're wondering if it can actually replace a tool like Tableau or Looker. Honest answer, no. But it can build a fully interactive React dashboard with charts and filters from a plain English prompt, and that's genuinely useful for a lot of people. I prompted Claude to build a single-page dashboard with React and chart libraries, and it rendered live in the preview pane, filters, KPI cards, the whole thing. The catch is that data quality depends entirely on what you paste or upload because there are no native warehouse connectors, and if you're on a paid plan, Live Artifacts from April 2026 let it auto-refresh via MCP, which is pretty cool. Step 2 works with one honest caveat. It's generative UI inside Claude, not a managed BI platform, so treat it like a really fast prototype tool and you'll be happy. That's 2 of 6 steps done, and this one passes. Step 3. Create and publish your HTML or code. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. The number that surprised me, publishing is free on every Claude plan, including free, so the cost to get a public shareable link is $0. The gotcha is that the sandbox blocks all external network requests, so if your artifact needs to pull in a font or an image from somewhere else, it won't load. Click the Publish button in the Artifacts section and you get a public link plus embed code, works on every plan at zero cost, and the download icon gives you a self-contained HTML file if you want to host it yourself. The strict content security policy is a real wall though. No external scripts, no fonts, no style sheets from outside the sandbox, so design your artifact to be fully self-contained. Step 3 passes. Publishing is free, the link works on any plan, but design everything to be self-contained because the CSP wall isn't negotiable. If the download icon is missing, just ask Claude for the complete HTML code and copy it yourself. That's 3 of 6 steps done. Step 4, share your artifact via link. This is the step where people get burned. You share a link with a client, then realize there's no expiry option, no password, and if you decide to unpublish it, that's permanent. You can never republish that same artifact again, and if it contains anything sensitive, it may already be indexed by Google. The public link works great for the recipient, no Claude account needed, just a URL anyone can open. But I looked hard at the governance side and it's genuinely sparse. No password, no expiry. And Claude's own platform warning says, Published artifacts are accessible to anyone on the internet and potentially visible in search engine results. Unpublishing is your only lever, and once you pull it, it's gone for good. Watch out on this one. The link sharing works, but the lack of expiry and Google indexing make it a real risk for sensitive content. Only publish artifacts with data you'd be comfortable seeing in a Google search result, and go in knowing that unpublishing is a one-way door. So sharing has a real gotcha, but the question now is whether versioning and error recovery actually hold up under pressure, because if those two steps break down, the whole workflow falls apart when you need it most. That's what the next two steps are going to tell us, and one of them has a restore behavior that most people get completely wrong. Step 5, manage artifact versions. You get client feedback, Claude makes changes, and then you realize you preferred the version from 3 edits ago. If you don't know how the version selector works, you're stuck manually reprompting and hoping Claude rebuilds it the same way. The version selector lives at the bottom left of the artifact, and there's a diff toggle built right in. Every edit creates a new version automatically, and switching between them with the version selector works cleanly, and the diff toggle lets you compare against any earlier version, which is actually really useful when you're iterating on feedback. The gotcha I didn't expect. Older versions are read only, so you can look at them, but you can't edit them directly. And to restore one, you have to ask Claude to save it again. Step 5 works as promised. Version selector and diff toggle are built in, and they do what they say. The read-only restore is a mild friction point, but the fix is just one sentence to Claude. Save this version again. 4 of 5 steps solid now. Step 6, fix broken or erroring artifacts. Your artifact renders a blank screen or throws a runtime error, and you click the Try Fixing with Claude button, expecting it to sort itself out. Community reports say that button only works about half the time, so knowing the backup path matters, because half the time you're on your own. When I described an error directly in the chat, Claude patched the code and it re-rendered. That conversational repair path is the one that works reliably. The Try Fixing button is more of a coin flip, about 50% community reported success, and some failures are environmental, like a disallowed network call, where Claude might fix the code, but the artifact still can't run inside the sandbox. Step 6 works with a clear preference for the conversational repair path over the button. Skip the button and describe the error in plain text. That's the fix that lands consistently. All 6 steps hold up, and the workflow runs end to end. Alright, so here's what you'll actually have by the end of this workflow. A working interactive app built from a plain English prompt, no code written, no deployment configured, plus built-in versioning with a selector and diff toggle so you can iterate on feedback without losing anything, and a public shareable link that works for anyone, free on every plan including free. 3 gotchas to know before you use this in the real world. Shared links have no password and no expiry, so only publish content. You'd be fine with anyone seeing. Unpublishing is permanent, so once you unpublish, you can't republish that same artifact. And the Try Fixing button is a coin flip at about 50%, so describe the error in chat instead. If you want to build and share interactive apps without writing any code, Claude Artifacts works, and it works for free. The one thing that'll burn you: treat every public link like a permanent Google index page, because that's exactly what it is. Okay, so the one nobody mentions. If you're using Claude Code Artifacts, there's a separate 16 MB rendered size cap per page, not the 20 MB artifact storage limit everyone quotes, and if you hit that ceiling, the artifact silently fails to render. Keep your Claude Code Artifact pages lean and split large outputs across multiple pages if you're getting close. Now that you know how artifacts work step by step, the next thing worth watching is Claude Artifacts Explained, which goes deeper on what each artifact type actually does and when to use which one. It's the natural next step if you want to go past the basics and start using this in a real workflow.